everyone, Edith here. Welcome back to my channel. Um, I'll tell you honestly, last night I filmed a video about Alexandra Rodriguez's Vlogmas. I watched one of her vlogs for Vlogmas. Oh, sorry, Sawyer. My dog Sawyer is just like hacking over there. Anyway, I watched one of Alexandra's vlogs, and I came out kind of bitchy. I don't know, I guess I was very, very tired in some sort of a mood. So I don't think I'll post that video. I was just like being not very nice the entire time. So instead, we are going to react today to fat liberation TikToks. Literally, I got into TikTok and I searched for fat liberation, and this is what it's going to come up with. So we're just going to watch them and see what these people have to say. Some of them define themselves as activists. Some of them have a lot of views. Some of them not so much. So I'm just going to react to it. Let me just have a sip. A little intro about me. If you don't know, my name is Edith. I've been living in Tokyo for the past decade. I originally am from Israel. I'm a personal trainer. Have been for the past 5 years or so. Yes, started during COVID. That was interesting. I used to be fat, used to be overweight. Now I am not. I'm quite fit. I struggled with my weight basically my entire life since I was kindergarten, okay? So I can definitely relate to a lot of the struggles that fat people go through. Maybe not necessarily not fitting into spaces, even though in Japan, even being slightly bigger is not always comfortable. But I can relate to a lot of the more mental struggles for sure. I basically started this channel to maybe have some side revenue, a side hustle, and just give myself something to do during the time when my husband and I are trying to start a family. So that would be something that I could do during pregnancy and later with the baby at home. Well, I mean, by the time this video comes out, it's not going to be a secret anymore. I already am pregnant. In fact, as of today, January 16th, I don't know when this video will come up, probably a few weeks after. But as of today, I'm like 14 weeks pregnant. So I got pregnant very, very shortly after starting filming for this channel. So in my earlier videos, you see me sitting without a top and I have a six-pack. I don't have a six-pack anymore. I have someone in there. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, but there is someone in there. So if you see me looking a bit more plump, especially in my arms, my chest, my abdomen, this is what's going on. So for now, I don't feel like I have any content to create regarding my pregnancy journey. Maybe a little bit later when I'm more significantly pregnant and how it is being more of a fit person, a personal trainer who is pregnant. What do I do? What do I eat? If you guys are interested at all in that, even regardless of my pregnancy, if you want to see what I eat, then I'd be happy to share. What else? Well, I guess that's it. People often ask me if I have any adverse effects. Right now, no, not at all. I'm feeling pretty great. Except for some like GI issues, I am doing fine. I don't have sickness. I'm not vomiting. My appetite is definitely opened. I eat much more than I did before, but I keep things healthy and I don't have any like weird cravings or anything like that. I just noticed that I'm hungrier. I eat bigger meals and more often. Do I have anything else that I want to add to this very long intro? No, it's weird for me to like come out and say like, oh, I'm pregnant, you guys, and like my YouTube channel barely started, but life is life. I'm just happy everything happened quickly, easily, without a lot of fuss, without a lot of worry, literally a few months into trying and it happened. So that's nice. Well, without further ado, let's get into fat liberation TikToks. Again, I'm sure I've encountered some of these before, but looking at the TikToks right now, I see familiar faces, but I haven't watched them prior to this video. This is going to be a genuine first reaction to all of them. So we're just going to start from the top, okay? This one I know that I've already watched. Before I hit play with the volume on, first of all, this person is called Fierce Fat Femme. She's quite well known in the fat liberation sphere. This TikTok is from 7th April 2023. And the caption is very short. She's just saying, my main care is fat people of all sizes, races, genders, etc. And let's see what she's saying.
Everyone should be a fat liberationist. It's really quite simple. Everyone in a society that has the system of fat phobia within it, which is most westernized or colonized areas, is going to be negatively impacted by fat phobia and anti-fat bias. Depending on how small or large you are, the fat phobia and anti-fatness will affect you in different ways and will have different material realities. But no matter your size, fat liberation benefits you. Imagine what it would be like if we were all liberated from the idea that our bodies have to be smaller or look a certain way in order for us to live our best lives. Imagine if everybody could wear what they wanted to wear without having to worry whether or not they'll be able to find it in a store near them or not. Imagine spending your time worrying about anything other than your body. Everyone should...
Okay. I have to say I don't completely disagree with her. I think the way that she phrases things is, I don't like that. It's a bit abrasive, and also she's talking about westernized or colonized societies as if every westernized place in the world is the worst and only non-Western societies are good. If you visit any non-Western country in this world that doesn't have Western values, you would not like it. You would not like to stay there very long. And I think it's pretty obvious. So I don't like the way that she phrased that at all. However, I think that constant worry about our body shape, body size, especially now when it's something that I'm experiencing more as my body is changing. Unlike Anna O'Brien, my body is changing daily, being pregnant. Yes, it is very weird. I am very, very aware of what's happening within my body, externally and internally, and it takes up a lot of my mind space every day. And sometimes I have to remind myself to take the foot off the pedal a little bit with these thoughts. So I understand where she's coming from, but it is a cope in a sense, because I don't think she really does feel liberated from these thoughts at all. I think probably she's very, very preoccupied with them. Let's see the next TikTok. I wonder if I just click this arrow, will it just go to the next one?
I had to block another one.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, this person is called Resting Jinx Face. That's a cute handle. I'm going to read her caption first. First of all, this TikTok is from quite recent. It's from 18th December 25, so 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. And she's writing, it is absolutely possible to celebrate and share your weight loss journey without degrading the larger body that carried you through that journey, especially in front of followers who most likely followed you because they felt you represented their body type. Okay, I'll give my opinion after she speaks.
One of my favorite content creators because she got on GLP-1, lost a bunch of weight, and then started talking about how fucking ugly she thought she looked when she was a big person. There's nothing wrong with losing weight. There's nothing wrong with losing weight on a GLP-1. There's nothing wrong with getting surgery to lose weight. There's nothing wrong with dieting or exercising to lose weight. There's nothing wrong with losing weight. However, if you started your platform on being a bigger person and platformed yourself on self-acceptance, fat liberation, body positivity, only to then lose the weight and then become fucking insufferable and tell everybody about how disgusting and horrific you thought you looked, that's a little concern. Because you're a liar. Oh, so you lied to me. So you lied to me. So you lied. It wasn't about fat liberation. It was about platforming yourself on whatever was most convenient, right? All right, I think that's lame as fuck. And I'm not going to platform someone who talks that way about themselves. And I'm not going to feel that way about myself either. Jesus. I had to.
Okay, that was a lot. So, resting Jinx face. I have a lot to say about what she just did here. First of all, yes, if you take advantage of a certain platform or lie to your audience for clout and then do a complete 180, yes, it can feel like a betrayal in this sort of weird parasocial relationship, but I think what this person forgot is that people are allowed to change their minds. And I can say from my own personal experience, when I tried to love my body, when I was bigger, when I was fat, it was a constant self-lying. I always lied to myself all the time, trying to convince myself that I actually like how I look. And I didn't. What can you do? You have to live your truth. Just because something is supposed to be better, more okay, more morally virtuous to do, if that's not how you feel, that's not how you feel. And I can compare it to other things that I'm not gonna, because it's not okay, it's not fair to compare it. But think about anyone who tries to repress their emotions so that things would be easier and more comfortable. Yeah, things are easier and more comfortable if you actually believe that you love yourself the way that you are. And if you do, then that's great. But if you have to reach to do that and lie to yourself to do that, eventually things are going to come out. And now today it's more, I wouldn't say easy, but it's more available for people to be able to lose weight. It's more possible for a wider slice of the population. They don't have to lie to themselves anymore. They don't have to lie to their audiences anymore. I think it's probably a hyperbole when she's saying that person, I don't know who she's talking about, that person is now saying how disgusting they thought that they were when they were fat. I don't think I was disgusting when I was fat, but I look at my old pictures and I don't like them. For several reasons. First of all, when I look at my old pictures when I was a little bit bigger, the shape of my face was different and I looked more like my brother, which is very strange for a woman to look at pictures of herself and say, oh, I look like my brother. I don't know any woman who would like that, okay? I would definitely prefer to look in the mirror or the front selfie camera on my phone and see my mom than see my brother. I'm sorry. He's a good-looking man, but I don't want to look like him. So that's one. That's maybe my own thing, you know? It's okay to not like yourself in a certain point and then change that and then starting to like yourself. The fact that she feels so betrayed maybe says something about her deep investment in social media. And I would definitely, if I were her, maybe go and touch grass, as they say. The way that she's saying that weight loss is okay and it's absolutely fine to lose weight, it does sound a little bit like a lie. It does sound like she's saying it just to say it because she knows if she says that that's wrong, then it's not going to go smooth. But what I would maybe slightly agree with her is that when you look back at your bigger self, you have to remember that that person, in my case, that young woman, she was doing her best, okay? That person who was overweight, who was maybe struggling, who was not as fit, who couldn't run or was struggling maybe to put on their shoes or go upstairs, and all those things were correct for me, by the way, even though I wasn't even obese. I was just overweight. That person was doing their best, and without their best effort, you wouldn't be who you are. So when you look at your old photos, even if you don't like them, I think it's a good mental exercise to just say, thank you, and carry on. But her entire attitude is kind of, I don't want to say it, but I'll say it, she's behaving like a bitch. Takes one to know one, okay? Next. Oops, sorry, the other way. So her handle is Divine Brugeria, and it's from mid-September 25. And she is writing in her caption, if you have not been a fat babe your whole life, you can still be photographed. It just takes practice, babe. I think this is good to, when people are getting used to maybe a new situation, to get some support from people who have been in that situation longer. So let's see what she said.
If you are someone who is not fat your whole life, and so now you've gained weight and you find it difficult to show up in photos, this video is for you. It makes sense that you feel uncomfortable to show up in photos because we live in a fatphobic society. I know a bunch of people, skinny, fat, everywhere in between, that had to work to be comfortable in photos. Because often we were told that the only people who were worthy of being documented and being photographed were skinny white women that we saw on TV.
I somewhat agree with what she's saying. I don't know about white. I don't think about race this way, maybe because of, where I live now and where I lived most of my life from the time that I was born. We don't conceptualize race this way, so I don't know anything about whiteness. I also don't consider myself white, even though I know that I'm white passing. But I do agree that when you're bigger, you do feel like you don't want to document yourself and that you're not worthy of documentation. And it is very hard for me sometimes to find photos of myself from when I was bigger. Usually I can only find them on my husband's phone when he took them, either when I wasn't noticing or I asked him to take pictures, but then I disliked them so much that I didn't want him to relay them over to me, so that it stayed on his phone. So I understand.
Have a decision. You can choose to hate your body, or you can choose to hate the systems that make us hate ourselves because they want to make money. That is the distinction. Bodily autonomy, you can do what you want. If you want to end up losing weight, that's fine. However, losing weight is not a one and done solution no matter what. But
I'm sorry, I do have to cut her off. I can't watch the whole TikTok without reacting halfway through. Two things that she said. First of all, you can either hate your body or hate the systems that benefit off of it. This attitude of like, I'm fine, but the world is wrong, everything else is wrong, everyone else is mistaken, that attitude never got anybody anywhere. It never got anybody anywhere on the personal level. And if you think that you can just hate the system and love yourself instead, I'm sorry, that's not how it works. You have to be truthful and look yourself in the eye and really take things seriously. And if you're at a point where you gained a bunch of weight, you don't have to hate yourself, but you do have to have some self-thought, an introspective moment, and think, what did I do to get here? What can I do to get out of this situation again, to go back to where I was before? You don't have to accept it. You don't have to accept that maybe you fell off the wagon, that maybe you had a hard time mentally and you compensated with food and it was difficult and you don't like yourself. You don't have to just roll over, belly up, and just like, oh, okay, well, I guess I have to love myself now. You don't have to. That's number one. Second thing, in that short clip, she put like a little snippet of a title there about diet culture and how it's profitable. You hate the system of diet culture. How about hating the system of food culture? How about the system that is making you fat and keeping you fat? Because 50 years ago, 60, 70, 100 years ago, there's no way she could have been the size that she is. There weren't any people the size that she is. They didn't exist. If they existed, it was like in the circus, okay? So how come now is so possible and so common? How about hating the food system that sells you junk food as health food, that sells babies and toddlers junk food as health food? How about the system that profits off of your convenience and how easy it is to just buy burger and fries, and it's almost cheaper to get a whole meal than just the burger? How about that system that makes it so easy for you to consume this junk food over cooking your own food, over buying whole foods at the supermarket? The hypocrisy of picking and choosing the systems that you don't like, I don't get it. And I understand most of these people are quite young. They're in their 20s, so maybe they didn't develop their worldview yet quite as much, but it's hypocrisy. Let's continue watching.
That companies want to tell you. And so, do you want to be miserable the entire time that you're losing weight? Or do you want to learn about body liberation and be liberated in the body that you have now and know that if your body changes, your feelings of self-worth, your feelings of affirmation, your feelings of love towards your body are not going to change. I think that a lot of people...
I disagree. The more I looked the part of a personal trainer, the more I felt happy. Yes, I was happier. It wasn't just external validation or anything like that. I finally felt like I was the person that I always wanted to be, that I was the person that I was actually meant to be. And I can't even explain, I can't even begin to describe how incredible that feeling is. And do I struggle now with feeling like it's being kind of taken away right now temporarily? Yeah, it's not easy. Many women throughout history have been pregnant, and I don't think any of them would say that it was fun and easy. So even though everybody does it, doesn't mean that it's a walk in the park.
People got really hung up on the body positive movement as like a cure, but they never did the actual work to realize that body liberation is not about feeling positive about your body. Body liberation is about knowing that you deserve respect because you exist. That is what it's about. Follow other fat people, follow people in bodies like yours and bigger than yours. Often, if we see people in our size and sizes larger than us living their full, authentic lives, we often feel permission to also take up space in our lives. That's it.
She's not wrong with what she's saying here. I think it's good to follow people who are similar to you, in a sense, whether you're smaller or bigger. First of all, just for inspiration, I also like to look at how some women who are similar to my size dress for the gym, or how they dress in general, especially now when I'm getting bigger and bodybuilding. I like to see how more pregnant women dress to the gym. When I was fat, I did follow some female models and influencers who are my size and bigger to see how they dress and to see how they do their hair. And it was inspiring. I still follow some of them to this day. There's one specifically that I'm absolutely in love with. Her name is Stefania, and I'll show her at least her handle on the screen, her Instagram handle, because I think she's so incredibly beautiful and just amazing. So I don't think it's a bad idea to follow people who are your size and bigger, especially to see how they live their lives. But I also think it's okay if you want to do better for yourself.
That's my TED Talk. Thanks for listening. If you are someone who is not...
Okay, we only went through 3 TikToks and I'm already 27 minutes in. Goodness gracious. Let's do one more, and there's plenty of meat and potatoes here. There's plenty of juice. We can keep going forever, but let's just do one more for today. So this TikTok is from Chunky Mac. It's from 2 years ago already. It's the 30th of April, 2023. I forgot what her deal is. I think she's like losing weight through eating junk food. I'm not sure. Her caption says, "Since when did going to a place determine worth? It doesn't." Okay. And let's see what she is saying. She's quite young here. I think she's also a big rage baiter, so let's see if it is a rage bait or not.
My greatest weight was 323 pounds. I am now 258.
Oh, good job.
I've lost a total of 65 pounds without going to the gym.
First of all, 65 pounds, well done. That was already 1.5 years ago, so I don't know if she kept her weight loss going since then. I think she's still quite bigger, so she might not have reached her goal yet, or maybe she even relapsed, I'm not sure. But first of all, very well done, about 30 kilos down, that's fantastic. Especially at those sizes, you do not have to go to the gym to lose weight. In fact, I would say you don't have to go to the gym to lose weight at all. It's important to go to the gym because it's important for your health, your heart health, musculature, hormone balance, mood. It's a very strong antidepressant and anti-anxiety. It will improve your longevity and not only your lifespan, but also your health span. That means how many good years you have left in you, not just how many years in numbers. Especially for women, it's so important to train because building muscle mass will also battle osteoporosis and will help build more robust skeleton. So it is important to train, but you can't out-train a bad diet. So if you think that you're just going to keep eating as you're eating and just train and lose weight, then that's not going to happen. But I would also say if you're very early on your weight loss and your starting point is quite high and you just want to lose some weight first, you don't have to go to the gym.
And I just feel like this needs to be said, that what I'm doing to lose weight is not any less valid than what you guys are doing in the gym. So
I agree. One more?
It's Christmas week, and so
All right, this is Queen Beast Says. Her name is Hannah. This TikTok is from very recently. It's just a day before Christmas 2025. And I'm going to read her caption first. I personally needed to remind myself of this as the skinny talk rhetoric has just been so loud, so I hope it helps you too. Look after yourself. Okay, let's see what she's saying.
I want to take a moment to remind you that you are a person who deserves respect, dignity, love, happiness, and kindness, regardless of your body size, body shape, and what you decide to eat over the next few weeks. 2025 has been one of the loudest years for diet culture and thinism rhetoric that we've seen in the past few decades.
Thin was never out. It was never out. These people like to say that, oh, their movement made such progress and then the GLP-1s took it all away. Their movement did not make progress at all. It was a trend for a while that some brands cooperated with because they felt like they could make an extra buck out of the people. But once they saw that putting fat models on the cover of magazines and ads, commercials, wasn't actually benefiting their bottom line, then they stopped doing it.
And Christmas and New Year's is already loud, regardless of the year we've had previous. But I fear this year will be even louder. I've already had to talk to a small business today about reposting people's stories where they're claiming to be the O word for having a fucking bagel. Like, hello.
She's fighting her battles through arguing with small businesses, reposting videos. I mean, are you joking? Do you have nothing better to do to spend your time than to lecture small business owners? God, these people are so delusional. She thinks that she's fighting the good fight, you know? Oh my God. Just.
So what I'm going to do, in case this helps you, I'm going to set boundaries with people who insist on telling me about their new year, new me diets. Fuck off. I'm going to shut down any conversation about how much food people are eating. Like, stop commenting on what people are eating, especially right now. I'm going to check in with myself every day and make sure that I'm comfortable and none of that.
One thing that I would agree with her, sometimes because of my work, people do ask me a lot of questions or tell me about their diets or ask me questions about diet. Usually when they ask questions, I always reply, answer to the best of my ability, of course. But if people tell me about their new diets and stuff, I also lose interest because, first of all, even if I say something, a lot of times they wouldn't want to listen to me anyway. So I agree, yes, it can be very daunting, and people telling you about their nutrition is not that interesting, okay?
Rhetoric is burrowing away in my head. I'm eating with intention. Watch an amazing amount of shitty Christmas rom-coms.
She said that she's eating with intention. I also support that. I think you should eat with intention. During the holidays, it's okay to enjoy yourself. You don't have to make it from Halloween to New Year's just binge fest, okay? Really, it doesn't. Each holiday has its own day. So enjoy the food on the day. It doesn't have to become a 3-month bender. That's number one. Number two, so yes, eating with intention and enjoying the food that you're eating. Number two, it is more important what you do between New Year's and Christmas than what you do between Christmas and New Year's. You have to remember that even if you had a couple of weeks where you did fall off the wagon, and God knows that I did because my husband and I were traveling and we had a really good time, then even if you do fall off the wagon for a couple of weeks, that doesn't determine the rest of the year. I guess I agree with some of her points, but I think people use the term setting boundaries today to just be assholes Don't be an asshole. Even if someone is boring you with their new diet details and you don't want to hear it, or maybe it's even causing you to feel some type of way, find a way to avoid that conversation. It's not that hard, okay? Change the subject, go eat something, say, oh, I just saw this person, I have to go say hi, or say that you need to go to the loo, whatever. It's not that hard. Anyway, fat liberation, I think it's fascinating. We didn't have anything too extreme today. A lot of this content was pretty okay, pretty mild. So let me know what you think about what these people said. Let me know what you think about what I said. What do you struggle with during the holidays? I can't particularly relate, again, because I'm Jewish. Well, I'm not American, so I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I don't really celebrate with the Halloween candy. Christmas and New Year's for me are just non-existent. It just happens to be a day off. So I don't know if I can totally relate to all of this. Of course, we have Jewish holidays and we have our own traditions and we do eat quite a bit, but I don't think it's exactly the same as this. Yeah, write me in the comments and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.